Whoa, now everybody, it is your boy Lambo Drew, and you are now tuned in for another edition of The Leverage Show. Y'all already know it is Thursday, this wonderful last Thursday in the month of August. You guys know, man, this thing is winding up so fast for so many people. So one of the last shows, man, in August, and then we get down to that fourth quarter stretch where we got September, October, November, December. You guys ain't got it by now or got a game plan, we need to start strategically getting you a game plan that truly helps you out. I'm telling you what, we have so much time that we think in our heads each and every single morning that we open our eyes. But the fact that remains is that you have a lot less time out in front of you each day than you did the day before, right? None of us are getting any younger, and none of us are literally aging backwards. Well, I mean, if you look at my wife, she's the only one I see aging backwards. Shout out to that beautiful blessing of a blessing, you know. Oh, boy. Thank God and everything for my wife. The God is good. Amen. Get the Lambo Bell. So there's only a few people who really look like they're aging backwards. Most of us are aging with time. And if you're aging with time, then you guys know out here that we need to make the most of our time. I'm going to get in the comments in a minute, man. Go on ahead, man, and show y'all some love, man. Definitely welcome y'all in, man, on a wonderful Thursday, man. Ingram's in the building saying, good evening, man, family. Love you all. Ingram, so great to talk with you today, man. As usual, you already know, man, it's always a blessing to be able to go ahead and talk to some Leverage Show family. Shout out for you for getting that top spot. I see Ingram in the building. Out there, man, making sure that you make your presence known. My cousin Errol's in the building. What's going on, Leverage Show? Shout out to your cuz. Appreciate all that you do, man. Was actually speaking highly of you today, cuz, man. Thank you for all the love. Appreciate you, man, for what you're doing, brother, man. You keep sharing the news, man, of this Leverage Show. He's showing love to Taylor, man. Love it. Taylor showing love to Errol in the building, man. My wonderful wife, he is in the building, man. Hello, Mrs. Ingram, and hello, Errol, man. I'm loving to see the love and camaraderie. I was just speaking on my wonderful wife, man, just earlier. Lady I know who's aging backwards, and I got to go ahead and make sure that we keep her on a move. Love you to me, my beautiful wife. Thank you so much for you always tapping in, tuning on. We appreciate you. Who else is in the building? Money, Taylor showing love to Mrs. Johnson. Love it. Money is in the building. Shout out to you, Money. I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you right here on the Leverage Show, man, and showing love. My wife, wonderful wife, showing love to Money in the building, man. Ingram showing love to Money as well. J50 is in the building. Shout out to you, Team Crafton. Leverage Show family, my peeps. I love y'all all so much. We love you, J50. You and J-Dog, man, know what time it is and everything, man. It is time for us to make this thing happen, man. You already know. Love you all so much, man. Look, we love you too, man. Mrs. Ingram, showing love to Mrs. Ingram in the building, man. You already know what time it is, man. Good evening, Money, Julie, and Mrs. Johnson and Julie, man. I love that, man. Listen, I truly, we'll get back to these comments in a minute. I truly want to thank everybody. I see my cuz, man. It just made me just stop, man. Everybody for just all the love and support. I got a chance last night to go ahead and watch the documentary on Netflix. If y'all ain't got a chance to watch the documentary on Netflix, you are missing out. Lambo's getting ready to tell y'all that documentary so much. It's the documentary of the Katrina. It's literally been 20 years since Katrina has happened. And I still remember Katrina, man, Hurricane Katrina down in New Orleans, just like yesterday, everybody. If you have not seen that documentary, it's literally only 3 episodes, right? I mean, they're about an hour a piece or so. That last one was like an hour and a half because they was dissecting it. Shout out to Spike Lee doing an amazing job, literally showing us into some detail, right? That doggone general, man, General Honore, man. Shout out to General Honore. if y'all don't know who General Honore was, he was the general who actually took over and made sure that everybody in the city itself started getting the right treatment and was able to start moving things efficiently. One of the things that if you watch the documentary, and I watched it, man, I couldn't, I got done with my meetings and I literally, that's all I locked into was that amazing documentary on Netflix of Hurricane Katrina and surviving Katrina, or after surviving Katrina. I got to figure out exactly what it was. But again, go to Netflix, check it out. It made you, into this same standpoint, go back 20 years ago. A lot of people, man, remember where they were at when they seen on the news Hurricane Katrina. Like so many people remember seeing Hurricane Katrina, watching it on the news, looking at it like it was some far off country. Like there's no way that this is happening in the United States. There's no way this is happening right here on our turf, right here in our backyard, right here in Lambeau's home city, where I was born and bred and raised in. The same places, man, that I'm sitting out here, man, seeing my family and my friends being raised in these same places. Literally, I'm telling you what, it was a heart-wrenching documentary to watch because it brought back so many things within inside of our head of what they actually started doing within inside of the city. I'm telling y'all, go watch the documentary on Netflix of the Hurricane Katrina documentary that was released yesterday. When I'm telling you what, it made you grateful, it made you thankful, but it also exposed a lot of corruption that literally just really made a lot of people's lives a whole lot more difficult. You know, often people always say, man, you know, Lambeau, dude, with y'all, you know, would you ever, you know, go back to go do this and go do this? I said, man, I go back see my family all the time, man. And all the time, I got some great friends down there, man. I go back all the time. I see them all on social media, but I go back, man, when I get a chance, man, to touch back in the city. But when people were asking literally about what Katrina did, it literally was the curse and yet the blessing at the same time. What Katrina happened, I had literally moved and was in college 2 years prior to Katrina happening. So literally I had moved and, you know, I couldn't wait to actually get married that same year with my beautiful wife. And literally Katrina and everything, man, you know, destroyed those plans. We still got married in 2005. So we still got married. It'll be 20 wonderful years this year with me and Mrs. Johnson. Praise be to God here in November. But literally our thoughts of having this amazing wedding in New Orleans back home and inviting friends and family and people, you know, all coming together, literally was at a standstill in August of 2005. For many people, you got a chance to see how literally a society, a government, leadership, and so many other things literally was the exact opposite of the way that we should have been handling our own patrons right here in New Orleans and in the United States. I've seen them actually handle better foreign diplomacies when they go out, bomb overseas, and then literally go spend billions and billions and billions of dollars in cleaning that up. And I watched how literally they flipped the entire narrative in New Orleans for so many innocent people. And it made them feel as if we were literally refugees, as they called it. When you look at the treatment, had this been in some other cities, I watched when the fires were in California and they got around the money, just being real. What they actually did in places around predominantly wealthy families in wealthy area zip codes, it was astronomical of being able to save houses and provide rescue and provide resources and all these extra things that literally were able to help out so many countless of people. Yeah, there was people who may have had their house burned down, but aid was giving so fast to so many individuals that it was shocking that after the aftermath of full fires, they were able to literally salvage minimum or marginal damage to so many people. My entire posture watching that documentary last night literally shifted back 20 years ago, because I remember telling people that we talked about so much stuff of what hadn't happened. And when the hurricane happened, man, everybody was out there on the news and they talking stuff on the news and they saying, well, why did these people leave the city? Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. If you watch the documentary, you've seen that there was people financially who just could not up and leave a city. You got to remember where the poverty rate itself in New Orleans was literally at one of the highest next to Mississippi and some of the other areas. And people are striving to go ahead and make it paycheck to paycheck. Heck, in New Orleans, it's not even paycheck to paycheck. We make it a day by day. And when we're making it in those cities day by day, most people don't know that from the documentary you've seen, and I had been sharing that for years, that literally you've seen wages in other cities that were so far high. And then when it came down to wages in New Orleans was literally so further down the ladder, where we were not being compensated for the work, for the jobs, for the things that we were doing, for the same jobs in most other people's city, we were not compensated well for. So when you ask struggling families who are literally trying to make it day by day, trying to make a dollar, trying to make a red cent, trying to make a buck, how in the world are we going to just get up, take our possessions and run and go find a hotel? Now you gotta get in your vehicles, and this is how we came up. We got in our vehicles. We were literally have to drive down hours away. Most of the time is in Houston that we would have to go. That's 5-6 hours away. Keep in mind, I told y'all how Lambo was raised in New Orleans. Right, man, look, we took a vacation once a year. When that vacation came once a year, we were thankful and grateful for that vacation, wherever our parents took us, because they were busy working hard to provide for us each and every single day while we were there in the city of New Orleans. If you watch the documentary from last night, I hope most of y'all this weekend take some time out and watch the documentary. Take about 3.5 hours out of your weekend and watch that documentary. It's only 3 episodes. It will literally bring into place for you how much so many people along the scope of life, going through life, getting through life, have literally had privilege and other people didn't have the same privilege. When I tell you, it's a fact remains, 30 to 40% of the population of New Orleans never came back after Katrina. I was saying it for years. People kept saying, Lambo, no, I don't think it could be that much. No. Watch it. 30 to 40% never came back. And the reason because when people literally left New Orleans and they got out into places in Texas and places in Atlanta and places in Arkansas and places in Oklahoma and places out there in Mississippi and Florida and other places, and they went around the entire United States and world, they started seeing that there was better opportunities outside than where they currently were. They literally were in neighborhoods that they can afford a house. Some people purchased their first house in a thriving neighborhood. Some people were able to get jobs and able to start businesses and start careers and literally seeing light at the end of the tunnel when they actually were living in other cities and states than living in New Orleans. People were able to actually see themselves come up out of situations where their parents and their parents' parents and their parents' parents had never seen them come out of situations, but literally it became the norm of life to be able to make sure that they're going through it and making it by any means necessary. In New Orleans, you got a chance to shine light on such a beautiful city, the culture, the peace. You've got a chance to really see what it was like before so much of this Katrina and everything else. You got a chance to actually see, like, this is one of the most funnest cities. When people used to get a chance to get down, they would see it, they would love it, they would experience the culture. And the next minute, you know, they were going back home and all over around the entire world, talking about the amazing experience that they got in New Orleans. The documentary showed last night, for those and everything, man, who know how New Orleans is, it showed literally where teachers, after Katrina had taken place, 5,000 of them lost their jobs and literally had to go find jobs elsewhere. They bust in literally from places around, from what they call up north, out west, out east, from places that were not in Louisiana. They bust in teachers to go back into this city, gave them benefits and incentives to live in, just to let them know that we're getting ready to pay y'all to reflip this city the opposite way. Some people need to know, man, how, if you've actually seen it, this is discussions I've had for years. So it wasn't nothing that Lambo was like literally, oh man, he's out of pocket, he's out of bounds, man. He's literally stating the same facts from the same documentary. If you guys better watch this documentary on Netflix after Katrina story, Hurricane Katrina documentary. It will definitely help shape how you've seen them flip an entire city that they knew for a fact could have more economic money, more economic flow, more economic outpour from everyone else that was not living in the city. I've said this for years. People say, Lambo, man, you tripping. I said, no, I'm giving you facts. You take the same person from New Orleans, you turn around and you bring them to Texas, which Houston and Dallas was actually very affluential. We got a lot of family turn around and move from the storm from New Orleans and move to Dallas, Texas, or move to Houston and turn around, and they blew up. They had so many much more opportunities because they seen that the way of life was way better with the same skills that they were possessing and surviving in the city in New Orleans. One of the hardest things that I had to sit down and watch when you literally are looking at that documentary We literally looked and seen how people were literally mistreated as if they were in concentration camps. You're probably saying, Lambo, man, nah, man, I don't know about that. Go watch the documentary. Footage don't lie. Numbers don't lie. History does not lie. When you're there to see what you were seeing on TV, now to see that there was other more raw footage of you seeing of what happened in the city, you seeing that there was some real people who turned around and by any means fought to the very last end. Some of them made it. A lot of them made it. Some of them didn't. A lot of people, man, you look at the documentary and you tell, you say, oh my God, Lambo, I can't believe that they went through all of that. That there was so much aid when we had former sitting presidents who were literally out there on vacation when this is going on. You have a full catastrophic catastrophe in America from a hurricane that literally came in and tore the whole city up. And we're sitting out here at commencement ceremonies and on vacation and chilling and flying over New Orleans, flying over it, flying over the city, flying over people who are crying out for help, people literally on their roofs in New Orleans, turning around, writing out, help me, please. Save us, please. We have these people in the house who are literally trying to figure out how we're going to survive. When I was telling you they were cutting their way in the attic, they were literally cutting their way through the attic. When I was telling you that most people was thinking like, man, no, they were literally stuck on their houses, on their roofs, stuck there for days, trying to figure out if they were going to make it. They wasn't out there just stuck on a roof and, yeah, we just getting ready to go ahead and play some board games and turn around and have a barbecue and we're getting ready to not to do it. You don't understand when I look at where New Orleans has actually survived, the things that they have went through, the things that they have inspired, the things that they persevered, and the struggle to be able to watch so many of them out there right now in life win today. It literally speaks volumes of the culture, of the heritage, of the way that they were raised, of the morals, of the character, of the integrity, of the fight that was in every last one of them. When you look at New Orleans, you check that documentary out. Many of you gonna need some Kleenex next to you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. When you click on Netflix and you look at the documentary and you see it, many of you are gonna be taken back because there's gonna be a lot of things that you've seen that you didn't see. And people out of desperation making moves from that and trying to figure out how in the world are we getting ready to go on ahead and put this thing all together for us. So when I look at where Katrina has been, and I told a lot of y'all, I said, man, listen, I said, Katrina showed exactly the tale of two tapes. It showed in everything, man, that if you consider yourself blessed in fortunate cities that you may be in, there are other people, man, who are in other places that are literally dying to get the even playing field change you have. So when you think about, like, man, I'm going through some of the hardest days of my life. I'm going through some of the roughest times of my life. Like literally, I went through some really bad things that have been so traumatic that they've taken me out. I want you to go back and look at this documentary on Netflix and check it out. And look at where you're going through, and look at some things you're going through in life, and look at some places and some hard times that you're saying, and you're saying to yourself after you watch this documentary, and you're saying, you know what, Lambo, what I'm going through ain't probably as near as hard as what I've seen in people on that Hurricane Katrina documentary go through on Netflix. Like, they took it to a whole nother bar. They took it to a whole nother level. Like, if they can survive that, I know I can survive my storm. I know I can survive what I'm going through. You had people literally in a documentary. I don't want to go ahead and spoil it. But when they got into the Superdome roof was collapsing. Now, you go in there thinking that you're in there for safety. And then people on the news hearing, well, man, they in the Superdome, Drew. So they good. And I'm sitting there telling them, I'm saying, no, it's not good. The Superdome roof collapsed. They got it all on tape in the documentary. And you're seeing that literally there's water that is literally getting in the Superdome. So they got to turn around and go out into the hallways and try to just to keep cool in the hallways, just to keep them out of the rain in the hallways. So now they got feces everywhere, crap, piss, the whole nine everywhere. They out there all piled up like they literally in a third world at this place. Like they literally overseas in some of the roughest parts of Africa you've seen, or the roughest parts of places that are down in some destitute places. People are asking, well, Lambo, they had food and they had water. It was good. Watch the documentary. I tell you this right now. When people say they were sending food, they wasn't sending no food. There was people out there surviving the best way they could. So when you talk about them robbing and everything, man, stores, well, they was out there looting and they out there robbing. They in survival mode. God help us all if we literally had to be in those same predicaments, in the same position, and you're looking at your family and your loved ones trying to survive. The moral clause is almost and came off like, hey, this store 10-1 with all of these 20-foot pieces of water that's around us. It's 20 foot now. Places that's 15, 20 foot, 18 foot, 12 foot. Imagine that. You probably haven't seen that. Everywhere you can think of, houses are underwater. And they in there going into stores. And they're grabbing what they could to take back with their families. See, some of y'all don't understand, like when I tell you this, and when you look at that documentary, you're going to see people literally surviving to fight another day for their family. See, that was the time when everybody was on the same playing field. There was no person who, if you was in this economic class, you were right here. If you were in the middle economic class, you were right here. If you were in the lower economic class, you were right here. When that storm hit, and if you stayed, if you were in any economic part, you were all on the same level. You were all in there surviving for your family, full of water around you that's flooded, trying to figure out that when people get to a place where you're seeing dead bodies and you're pushing them out of the water because of people who either couldn't make it in their attics because the water came up so fast. And people literally saying to themselves, well, man, they should have left. And if I was them, I would have got them out. And the mandatory, see, if you come in New Orleans, man, you already know. My cousin, I had to stop you when I seen your thing on the screen just to let you know. My cousin can testify this. When you're down in New Orleans, there's people who just can't take a vacation 1 hour outside of the city. It just doesn't work that way. You don't have the abilities and the freedoms that you may have in other cities where you're thinking like, oh man, that ain't number 2 hours a ride. Most of the time in New Orleans, man, when we was coming up, when somebody said, yo, I got gas money, it was gas money to get you from one place to the next. And then you had to go ahead and hustle up that amount of gas money to get from that place to the next. Imagine you happen to be in a city where you hustle for gas money. Most people don't understand that. You know, I'm going to say this to you right now. Everybody who knows this, man, I lost my grandfather in Katrina. It's one of the hardest things that I had to listen to outside of other people that we knew. And when I go back down memory lane, I go back down some of the conversation where I'm in Ohio and I'm talking to my grandpa and I say, hey, grandpa, you good? Yeah, grandson, I'm good. And the conversation that me and him having, my wife was my fiance at the time, Renata. She's sitting in there, man, talking to my grandfather, not knowing that I was getting ready to be my last time. So it literally hits home for Lambo a little bit different when I kind of see like what happened. Most old folks where we came up from, they would tell you, man, we're going to ride this out. It's like any other storm. We're going to ride it out. We're going to put stuff on our walls. We're going to put the shutters on there. We're going to turn around. We're going to get enough water. We're going to get enough food, canned food. We're going to try to get generators and all that. We have something already prepared that, yo, we're not getting ready to go spend all this money to try to go take a trip that we got to figure out how we're going to pay our bills if we get back or when we get back, because it really wasn't all that devastating. Some of y'all probably, y'all probably gonna say, man, Lambo, now he's lying. See, when I was coming up, when we heard that it was a hotel that was $100 a night, boy, that's an expensive hotel. I'm not lying. You think it's a joke. We was coming up and a hotel said it was $100 a night. That was an expensive hotel. So imagine you grabbing your stuff, jumping in vehicles, and going to places where $100 a night was a norm. See, in New Orleans, we had a lot of stuff where you got a hotel here, $20, $30, $40, $50. Okay, cool. We can survive. We can get by. We can put a little money down. You see $100, you're like, ooh, I don't know if I can do that. Because they knew the stretch of what it took to get the money for that same $100 that most people in other states and other cities have been like, that's only $100. I'm not talking 40 years ago. I'm only talking 20 years ago. So when I see people say, oh man, you know, they should have did better. They should have listened and they should have got out. Understand the conditions of a person who most of them taking a vacation or having a sense of freedom was going and everything, man, to the Six Flags out there out east. That's about if you know what I'm talking about. So maybe about, depending on what part of the city you're from, 5, 10, 15 minute ride. Coming from across the water, across the river, maybe a 20-minute ride. 25-minute ride. So imagine you picking up and saying, I got to go to get out of the path of this storm 5-6 hours out going west, going to Texas, or going 7-8 hours out. That's not even fathoming in people's brain. Because to them, a long trip in New Orleans, heck, I remember we was coming up, we used to sit back up in here when somebody said it was coming from Algiers. I still clown my brother from to this day, from Algiers to Marrero, where ain't nothing but about a 10, 12-minute drive. 8 minutes if you really rolling, 7, 8 minutes if you're really rolling. That was a long way, a 7, 8 minute drive. 12 minutes if you in the deep part of that joint. So when we talk about, like, man, They could have did something better, or the people should have left, or the people should have gone out. Watch the documentary. Watch the Netflix documentary that came out yesterday. Get the mindset of how there were so many people that literally could not do it. And then there were some people that just didn't want to do it. Like, now I'm not getting ready to run. I've been running for all these other storms and everything. I can remember, man, us getting in a car, piling up in a car, and me and my family, you got to run through the storm. And you don't know the traffic until you're down in New Orleans. When you leaving and you're on that evacuation route to get out of New Orleans, that could be a long, that 5-hour trip, then turn into a 10, 12-hour trip with ease. Because everybody is bumper to bumper waiting to get out. So when people say, well, Lamb, you know, I feel like they should have did more, or I feel like they told them it was getting ready to happen just a month before. I want y'all to go back, check it out. I'm trying to tell y'all, the hurricane came up that they thought was going to be a head-on collision, and it curved and went the other way. It curved and went towards Mississippi. Most of the time in New Orleans, it's going to curve to go towards Texas, curve to go towards Mississippi, curve to go towards Georgia, Alabama. I'm not lying. I'm telling you. So when they seen that it kept coming, and they said, this thing ain't curving, y'all. This thing is coming head on. I'm tell you this right now. When they tell you that this thing is coming head on, they didn't know the impact. Yeah, we gonna brace for that. We didn't. Some of the old folks that been through Betsy and Camille. I went through Hurricane Andrew, and I seen that. And I'm sitting in there looking at what Hurricane Andrew had did, and we sitting in there, man, looking at the storm. We didn't run. We was right there in it. So when I see people sitting there telling me, "Oh man, these people, they should have did something else better," I'm sitting there looking at them like, you don't know the condition of every single household, even if it's to try to save a life. Some people, man, I promise you, just don't have it. They just didn't have it to get money or get a car or get in the gas. They didn't have it. Then the buses came late. People didn't show all of that. There was no game plan for it like they thought. Shout out to you, Ray Nagin. You understand, you tried your best, but they dropped the ball. And they seen it, they dropped the ball. Because you had the mayor and you had the governor going back and forth at it. See, people and everything, man, don't want to talk about that. You got the lieutenant governor and you got the governor, the Landrews. People know who they is. Watch that documentary. I'm trying to tell you, everything that I've been saying has been sold. And they out there going back and forth. They out there and everything, man. And I love it. They out there trying to figure out and everything, man, who's going to go ahead and take responsibility from this? Who does this fall on? You out there pointing blame. You went from a voluntary evacuation to a mandatory evacuation just the day before the storm. What? The Saints wind up playing the game that Friday before the storm. Oh, man, it's going to be good. And then boom, the storm hits. You have to understand where you're actually trying to direct your conception or how you perceive things. Because, see, the media make you receive things one way. And then once you check out the media receiving things one way, you're saying, oh, man, well, man, those poor innocent people, they should have got out and they knew they had enough time. And look at the reports. The reports don't lie. They were waiting to see if the storm was going to curve like it normally does. But when it didn't, by that time, it was already left field for them. It was already, all right, strap up. We got to deal with these consequences. We know what we have to deal with at this point. So many people blame. They blamed everything from the politicians to the government. Most of all, I see most people was blaming the people in the city for not moving. for not getting up, getting in their cars, and going driving. Most of the time, they don't understand. They don't have an extra $200 aside, which that gets me to this, what we're doing right now. The conversation and the topic of this. The average American household, 51%, does not have an extra $500 of savings aside. 51%. You can imagine where those numbers is in New Orleans. If the average American doesn't have $500 in the savings, 51%. Imagine what them numbers look like in New Orleans. Straight up. So when you see the thousands of people that stayed, stuck it out, not because of ignorance or not because they tried to be He-Man or She-Woman, Wonder Woman or whatever, wasn't nothing like that. A lot of them just didn't have the means to go. Neither did the government prepare the means to take them out with enough equipped buses. So now you're sitting here watching this documentary of Hurricane Katrina, and you're sitting in there saying, well, Lambo, yo, I'm looking at all of these people who didn't go, who couldn't make it out, who literally, man, stayed there, and they was in there dying because of the storm. And now they upset and they heated and they pissed on that Superdome, and they out there at the convention center, the Montreal Convention Center is what we called it back then. They out there at the convention center, and they sleeping all up and down on the convention center because they're trying to find refuge to get from the lower parts of New Orleans all the way back up to Bourbon Street, downtown, uptown area of New Orleans, which some of those houses on the other side, the 17th, was flooded. So when I tell people, I'm like, man, look, you don't understand this whole thing of how New Orleans actually did till you look at it. And then you see it, and then you see the culture, and you see the people, and then you start seeing them. Well, man, they look like they got them out there in the convention center. That's all that they could do. They look like they got them in the Superdome. That's all that they can do. These people was actually on bridges, literally going through alligators, water moccasins, fishes, and every other thing floating around in that water, walking for miles just to get to the Superdome from downtown. We call downtown. Downtown is different. You get it's weird, but it's downtown, right? So you got downtown New Orleans, then you got Mid-City, and you go past Mid-City, and now you're going into the 7th and the 8th and the 9th ward. Then you get cross the canal on the other side, CTC. Then you get St. Bernard Parish. Like, there's so many places when you look at how New Orleans is designed, till you actually get there, you see most of the people the individuals who were there didn't have the means like you thought they had. They relied heavily on transportation, by foot, by bike. They're going to carpool the heck out of somebody. I promise you. In New Orleans, man, everybody in there riding 4 deep, just about 4, 5, 6, 7 deep in vehicles. This to try to go ahead and get around. It's just the nature of the city. So when I tell people, when you're looking at the documentary and you're seeing it, and I've been saying this for years, I was saying, just like, oh, well, they should have got out there. I said, no, look at the documentary again. Look at what happened. They knew that the levees on the backside was not going to be able to handle that water. So when Hurricane Katrina came, I remember they showed Bourbon Street, literally, after the storm had passed. They showed Bourbon Street. They said, oh, my God, they made it. They had a few disasters and few roofs flew off and all of that stuff. No. If you ever seen New Orleans or been there, you can look at that Mississippi River. You can go west, north, and look at the Pontchartrain River. You can go back on the other side. You look at the English River. Like, all of these rivers that are literally embodying around New Orleans, you can really see it. It's a beautiful skyline. Y'all got to go to my city if you've never been. Beautiful skyline. And they're trying to figure out how in the world is this much water literally flooding the city to where it's literally 20 feet high. And I said easy. Till you go there and you see it, you're like, oh my God, New Orleans is down into a city. New Orleans is down into a basin. New Orleans is built down further below sea level than what it should be. So when the levees start busting, technically, start blowing, they had to start getting the water out. Trying to tell you, they say, oh, well, one blew. No, they heard a big pop. You even heard it in the documentary. I'm trying to tell you what happened. They heard a big pop. Most of the time, they knew if we blow one side of this and it goes, it's going to flood the more lower class side of New Orleans, right? The side and everything, man, that's not the affluential side, like Magazine Street and uptown, further uptown. You understand, like around Tulane and Audubon Park and all of that. You know, they're not looking at that. They're looking at, well, if we go on ahead and we know that the levees can't hold, we have a strong possibility that it's going to flow back and flow over in the downtown area, which that's what everybody think New Orleans is when they come there. It's around the Superdome and the French Quarters in the downtown area. That's it. That's not it. You got way more to the city than that. And then all of a sudden, when you see it, it literally turns around and it brings pictures. He's like, oh, Lambo, now I see what you're talking about. Now I'm looking at what you were seeing, what everybody else was seeing, and how when the levees did blow, that was the biggest part of New Orleans. You seen that water come all the way up to the Superdome. See, some of y'all don't know that's a long way. If you coming from all the way from out east, across the canal, 9th Ward, downtown, 7th Ward, and you coming all the way up, when you see it, you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, Lambo, that's a long way." I tried to tell y'all. And that water came all the way up. That water all the way to the bridge coming up. The sad part about it is that everybody was trying to wait on the next person to make a decision in politics. They were trying to wait on the next political individual to make a decision that literally we are having people losing their lives by the hour out here. That is like a lot of y'all out here today, literally struggling in decisions and things that you're actually seeing and going through because you're waiting on someone else to make a financial decision that's going to change your life or for the benefit of you. You're like, Lambo, I ain't watched the New Orleans documentary yet on Netflix, but I'm going to watch it this weekend. You know, I got to see what you're talking about. I tell you, keep a tissue in one hand because it's a sad thing. Took the guts of General Honoré to come in there and say, yo, we ain't here to help people. Then the storyline for some people down there in New Orleans marked as them being thugs and thieves, trying to steal so much stuff, and they're out there trying to save their families. And they're actually saying, well, look at them, man. They're out here robbing people. How you robbing people in 20 foot of water out here? That don't even make no sense. Like literally, when you see it, you're going to see it. People out here, man, trying to get to other playing fields. Okay, you got food. We've been on this roof for a day, 2 days now. I know that this is going to be deemed damaged. So what you going to do with it? It's all water going in anyway. What you going to do with it? I might as well get what you can get to survive, to get out of here. They all got to write it off anyway. And go feed their family. They brought in militia out there. Militia, meaning that they brought in police and military to come in to literally say, well, we're trying to restore order back into New Orleans. I'm trying to I'm trying to really be in a place where you're trying to restore order. Man, these people out here, man, they out here, they on roofs. How much damage that they trying to do? So you upset that they picking up clothes and everything else, and shoes and everything else to put on their feet, where most of them then walk through water, all soaking wet, all this, all that. You out there putting shotguns to them people's head, military drawing down guns. You trying to arrest me. What order are you trying to restore? It's a full-on catastrophe around here. And you mean to tell me that the same people who down here, who picking up these clothes, who picking up food, who trying to gather stuff together, you mean to tell me that they are the ones, instead of helping them get food, get clothes, get water, get shelter, get all of this stuff, you mean to tell me that they are the ones who are down there, who are now the enemy? They are now the target? General Honore, you're going to see in that documentary, pointing their guns at these innocent people, holding them off like they the enemy or they behind enemy lines. General Honore say, put y'all guns down. Put your guns down. He's the general walking in there. There's captains, lieutenants, and everyone else underneath him got guns pointed at civilians. He telling them, put your guns down now. What's wrong with y'all? These people out here, man, sleeping on bridges, sleeping in the Superdome, sleeping in the convention center, and you out here treating these people as if they are literally the cartel or the criminals of the world, or the most America most wanted around here. These people trying to survive, man. These people are trying to make it out here with all the help that they have in front of them. Some of them being out here for days. You had people dying on bridges, people dying in the Superdome, people dying at the convention center, people and bodies dying who literally couldn't make it off of the rooftops. You mean to tell me that these are the enemies that you're sending soldiers after, rather than trying to send relief? I'm trying to tell you right now, that's literally how most people are going through debt in life. They literally have a pile of debt going through. And every time they're trying to go get help, they put their hands up. Hey, I'm trying to get help. Hey, you're supposed to be a point of refuge. You're a soldier. You're a police officer. You're a person of authority. I'm trying to get help here. I'm financially drowning in debt. For the banks and the same people to turn around who should be helping them, look at them as if they're the enemy and say, we're not going to help you out of your debt. Get back in line. Get back in line. Because you don't belong here. Do you know, and I posted this on my story, if anyone who's trying to get out of debt of $10,000 worth of debt, you can get out of debt in 6 months with just $10,000. Say, Lambo, how? I can't see myself. I'm just like everybody in New Orleans that you was telling me. I went to every direction. I got waters on both sides. I'm taking in water now. Finances ain't right. The math ain't math, and I'm trying to put the bills together. I'm trying to put it all together. Literally, strategically, you have to be having a plan and execute your plan. If you decided to take on your debt master one bite at a time, not looking at the whole thing, saying, Lambo, I just owe $10,000. You say I can be debt free in 6 months? Tell me how. You're going to have to take it day by day. Some of y'all probably may not want to hear this. But if you made an extra $1,600 a month, actually $1,667 a month to be exact, in 6 months, you would be out of debt. $10,000. You say, Lambo, hold on. Tell me more about that. Like $1,600 a month, $1,667 a month. I can be out of debt in 6 months. Yes. Well, hold on, Lambo. But how would I do that? Or listen, sometimes you're going to have to put the work in. The thing about the people in New Orleans, when they were going through some of that most horrific and horrendous, most traumatic trauma in their life, they kicked into what they call a survival mode. And survival mode outbeats any type of thing that you have almost learned in school, because now the boundaries of what you actually do to actually making in school, you have to get outside of those boundaries to survive. That's the same aggressive way you have to attack your debt. You have to get outside of the boundaries that you have actually been playing in. Well, Lambo, I'm cool with my credit card debt being up. I'm cool with these bills being up. I just want to go out and shop and kick it and go here and go here. You have to set some boundaries. You have to say, you know what, Lambo, you're 100% right. I got to get this financial plan in order. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing the excessive spending. I can't keep doing the excessive splurging. Literally, man, I keep surviving off of this credit card because every time I pay it, I see something else. I want it, and I go ahead and I swipe. You're going to have to go ahead and put that aside somewhere. Lock it in the safe. Take it off of every single thing that is on your computer or on your phone as an automatic payment default. I got to take it off of that. I don't even need it saved nowhere. And you have to have an aggressive plan to attack. $10,000, you can be debt free in 6 months. If you begin to go ahead and start moving strategically on some of the things that you were doing and start to say, you know what, Lambo, you're 100% right. I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to take aggressive measures. I'm going to take survival mode measures because I need to become debt free because I'm trying to get to the next chapter of my life. $417 a week extra is all you need to be debt free in 6 months. You say, Lambo, $417 a week? Lambo, I think I can do that. I think I can get $417 a week doing something. All of us are gifted. All of us are talented. All of us literally are in survival mode, just like everyone who was down in the documentary was in Katrina was literally in survival mode. I believe that I can go and get $417 a week to become debt free in 6 months. For some of y'all, the bills may be a lot larger. I may need to be disciplined for 12 months because I got 20,000. I may need to be disciplined, Lambo, for a year and a half because I'm at 30,000. I may need to be disciplined for 2 solid years because I'm at 40 and 50,000. Any one of these measures, if you stay disciplined, you say, you know what, Lambo, you're right. I'm going to have to turn myself away from what I've been doing and what I've been spending to come up out of what I need to come up out of, because I want to see an end to my future. And I want that end to look like a prosperous end, just like people who came up out of that hurricane in New Orleans, and they seen better days in front of them when help finally came. I hate to say this, but just like that documentary showed, help didn't come the first day. Help didn't come the second day. Help didn't come the third day. Help didn't come the fourth day. By the time help came, it was about 5-6 days in. And they were able to start to see, where can we actually maneuver and get ourselves into a place that we can actually at least get back to even playing field. Help is not going to come always in the time frame that you want it, but you have to find a way to survive until the break comes. You say, Lambo, what do you mean? I got to find a way to survive. I got to find a way, man, to live with this just a little bit, just to be able to see you not taking water. And you get there and cook and move forward for your life. You said, Lambo, I've been feeling like I've been stranded, financially stranded, mentally stranded, emotionally stranded. What do you mean, Lambo? Just like I said, you, my friend, have been in survival mode for so long that you don't even know the gifts, the discipline, the crafts. You don't even know the strategy you already have within you. You just needed someone like me to come out and show you that you can do this thing. You can make this thing. You can come out of whatever situation you have. And not just that, when you come out, you will actually see, if you stay disciplined enough and you come out of the debt and execute it, as you say, Lambo, you're 100% right. Like literally, I had to do something to get from where I am at now to where I truly want to go. Like I had to give up some things. I had to give up travel. I had to give up shopping. I had to give up eating out. I had to give up, man, doing my nails and doing my hair well. I had to do it myself. And I had to give up, man, doing all of these extra things that I seen my money go out of my accounts. Most of the time, most people have not took a look at their bank statements because they literally only see one thing. Hey, if I got money in there, I can keep swiping. If most people took a look at what they actually spent their expenses on, you would be surprised of some of the things, a lot of the things you can do without and still survive. Do you believe that 20 years ago, when people were literally sitting on their roofs, they were worrying about where they're going to get their hair done at, where they're going to get their nails done at, where they're getting ready to go shopping at, where they're getting ready to go ahead and watch their next movie at? Oh, I can't wait to be driving around in my whip I can't really afford because it's too high. Oh, I can't wait to go do X, Y, and Z. No, my friend. Leverage your family. I'm here to warn you. When they were looking out at that 20 feet of water from the top of their roofs, when they were actually walking through water and getting to the higher planes of the bridge, when they were walking all the way to Superdome, when they were walking to the convention center, when they were walking just to get to a place that was a sturdy land, all they can think of is, I need to get from where I am now because I can't allow this water to take me out. You have to be in your life disciplined. You have to be strategic. You have to master your mind. Master the things that you are doing. And by looking at some of these debts and said, you know what, Lambo, you're right. I ain't pulling my credit report, but I see I owe this. I think I can take this down. You say 10,000, I can eliminate some things in 6 months with 10,000. I can look at what I don't need. I'm looking at what my spending in. Lambo, you right. I don't need all of this. Some of y'all, it may take for you to start saying, you know what, 100% Lambo, I need to start selling some of this. I need to get rid of this. Yeah, I don't need this. Because if we can go back 20 years ago, and if that was you physically on the roofs in New Orleans, and you were looking out there at all of the water, and you're saying to yourself, when is someone going to rescue me? What moves would you make differently? What strategy would you use differently? Because see, desperation does not look like desperation until you actually see something looking like it's getting ready to take you out. And the thing about it is that when most people look at debt, they don't look at the debt monster as it's going to take them out until the stress builds up, until the anxiety build up, until the tears build up because you can't function or do the things you do. Because this mountain now that started very small, and then life happened, and it literally kept building and going higher. Literally put you into a place where now, as Katrina first seen, that's about an inch of water. That ain't nothing. Oh, that's about 2-3 inches. Getting a little higher. Whoa. This is about a foot now. Whoa. Now we at about 2 feet. Now we at about 3 feet. Whoa. Hold on. Now we at 5 feet and 6 feet and 8 feet and 9 feet and 10 feet. Whoa. Now we are literally trying to find a way to climb to the top of our roofs, to climb to the highest point of safety. Because by any means necessary, I'm trying to survive. This debt has got to the place where Lambo is taking me to a mindset that I have to survive because I see the water is literally building higher. You'll do anything to survive. Put in the right position. And if it's you and your family and your circumstance, some of you will probably be blowing, man, full dynamite through the roof to get through that roof to make sure you and your family survive. That's just the way debt creeps up in our finances, creeps up in our house, creeps up in our decisions that we make, whether voluntarily or involuntarily. Well, Lambo, this put me in a situation. That's fine. You are still living. You have another day to get out of it. You can climb to that roof when it's 20 feet of water and knowing that I just can't jump down into this water because I see what's infested in this water. But whatever I need to do to survive, I'm going to make sure that I survive. I'm going to make sure that you're 100% right, Lambo. $417 a week. I think I can go do DoorDash. I think I can go do Uber. I think I can go do contracts. I think I can go pick up an extra job. I think I can go do overtime. I know that's allergic to some people. I'm telling you, I think I can do overtime. No, you're going to have to go do it. It's either you're going to sink or swim. You're not in a place to bargain with debt. You have to tackle this debt monster with the right strategy and the right method. That's the only way you're coming out of this. You say, Lambo, I can't sleep this one off. I'm sorry. when them people was up on them roofs, my people, my family, my friends, my loved ones, when they was up on them roofs, they looked out there and they see one thing, like, hey, I hope somebody come save us. Somebody coming around in a boat, I'm hoping somebody come save us. Some of y'all need to hear me loud and clear when I say this tonight. You are going to have to mark your territory. Some of y'all have put out SOSs for so long and no one has come to save you. You, my friend, need to focus on a plan and a strategy and save yourself. Hope is not a strategy. You have to make sure you are moving into the direction that literally your life is changing by the decisions you make today. By constantly being stuck on you, making decisions for your future that sees you coming out of that water foot by foot. Sometimes people need to understand this. People need to know when I tell you this, that even if it looks like it's its worst, as long as you have breath in your body, you still have time to fight your way out of debt. You have time to strategize, strategically begin to say, you know what, Lambo, I'm going to pick up the extra gig. I'm going to pick up the extra job. I'm going to do DoorDash. I'm going to find in Google what I can do to make extra money. I don't care if it's babysitting. I don't care what it is you need to do. You need to find a strategy, because you're sadly mistaken that someone's going to come out there and just write a check and all of your problems are going away from debt. It does not work like that. You, my friend, are literally going to have to stay to the plan, stick to the course, stick to what's on paper, stick to what's on the strategy, and come out of that debt piece by piece, bit by bit. You say, Lambo, this thing has plagued me for quite some time. What do I need to do to get into position so where my 2025 at the end of it does not look like it did where I'm currently at now or at the beginning, or my 2024 or my 2023? I want to see light at the end of my tunnel. I want to see a sunny day just like everyone who was on the roof in Katrina. I want to see some hope, because I know that there's better days in front of me. But all of this water that's around me does not look like it's getting ready to give me a promising future. You're going to have to go fight for it. You're going to have to really get down with the get down and say to yourself, you're right, Lambo, I really got to go ahead. I really got to get a hold of this debt. Nobody's not talking about this. It's stressing me out. All my bills are maxed. All my credit cards are done. All of this stuff is done. Like, I don't have any money. I got more negatives in my bank than I have positives. I got more negative days than I have positive days in my bank account. You are going to have to slowly begin to get yourself a budget. Get yourself literally a budget book. Probably say, oh, Lambo, well, I tried that before and all of this and I heard that before. No. It's time for you to get serious about this. Because finances is the one thing that is destroying more homes, that is destroying more marriages, that is literally destroying more peaceful people between business, between everyday working, between even children who are robbed because financial decisions were never made into their favor that allowed them to be in a position to have the things that they can be on a fighting stance, just to be normal like everyone else, just to be on an even playing ground, not to do something extravagant, not to take a 5-star vacation and all that, just to be on a fighting chance or even playing field. If something was to happen, I've got $500 available. I have $1,000 available. I have this to the side. My debts are taken care of. My bills are down. There's no stress over me. My kids don't see the financial stress that's on my life. Kids only pattern after what they see. Someone needs to hear this. If they're seeing their parents or the loved ones go through some of the biggest financial stress, and they talk about, oh, I ain't got this, oh, I ain't got that financial stress, it literally traumatizes the kid. The kid goes and when they get out there, oh, I see my dad and my mom go through, I don't know if I can do this. I see my parents, I see my loved ones go through, I don't know if I can do this. It traumatizes them because we haven't gotten ourselves together and remained focused, remain disciplined, remain strategic. If you are going to conquer this, you're going to have to do this in 3 stages. You're going to have to do this first in the stage of watching you gather all your debts and then calculate what it is from least to greatest, doing the debt snowball effect and eliminating debt from smallest to the next to smallest, to the next to smallest, to the next to smallest, so all the way to your greatest of debts. And knock them out one by one by working even harder and remaining focused. And then scratching them off the list. You don't know when you start coming out of financial debt and financial hardship. You don't know when you start checking those off. It literally brings a confidence to you. Like, Lambo, you're 100% right. I didn't think I was going to come out of that storm. Literally, with every stroke of the hammer, as they were literally opening up the roofs in Katrina, they literally were finding more hope after every board and after every splinter was moving. They found themselves saying, we didn't know we can get to the attic to break through the roof, because we were looking up there and saying, we will never have to go ahead and do that. You didn't have to do that until you were pushed to do it. And some of y'all need to hear this under the sound of my voice. You will never be pushed into a place where you will see the true essence of who you are until you get in a place where your life is on the line. Your finances are on the line. Your future is on the line. That's when you get to a place when you find out, I can do some things that I never thought I could do. Number 2, after you begin to do the debt snowball effect, which you start doing from least to greatest and start crossing them out one by one, because you financially or literally making moves that are getting you out into a place that is showing you, my friend, that this thing that you're doing is really causing you to have a greater outcome because you decided to take initiatives in your own hands. One of the greatest things you can do is literally on that second phase, because you've decided to start working extra hours or getting extra contracts or doing extra things that allowed you to come out of debt. Now, my friend, you put yourself into a place where you start saying, Lambo, what's the second step? I've got the extra job. I've worked the extra hours. I did the extra overtime. I did the contracts. I did all of the things that you said do. What do I do next, Lambo? The second thing is on that list, after you started doing the debt effect, the snowball debt effect, and knocking out from smallest to greatest and checking them off, start putting you aside a portion of all of your extra income that you are making. You say, Lambo, well, hold on, time out. Can I do that at the end? No. You have to do that at the process. If $417 a week can get you out of $10,000 worth of debt in 6 months, and you're making $500 a week, you don't go spend that on something that's of non-necessity. You take the extra difference of the $80, put it aside somewhere, store it, forget about it. Put it aside in a piggy bank jar. Put it aside in a savings account. Put it aside somewhere that you don't see it. And every time you take off that 417 and you knocking down another debt and you put another 80 aside, and then you next week you come in and you knock out more debt and you put another 60 aside, and next week you knock out more debt and you put another 40 aside. I need for you to start rewarding yourself after you put what's aside week after week after that. Another $10 in your wallet, $20 in your wallet, $30 extra in your wallet. It may not seem like nothing to you. You may be saying, well, Lambo, I'm putting the money aside. I'm eliminating the debt, but I'm putting money into my wallet. See, that money in your wallet is your reward. See, when you get to this phase on number 2, what you're doing is you're rewarding yourself in milestones, small milestones. You know, Lambo, I'm seeing me eliminate this debt. I just gave myself $10 extra. I put 70 aside, put 10 in my wallet. The next week I put 60 aside, put 20 in my wallet. The next week I put 50 aside and put 30 in my wallet. The next week I put 40 aside and put 40 in my wallet. What you're starting to do is you start to see your money start to grow in your wallet or in your bank account. You say, well, Lambo, but Lambo, I should be able to reward myself now. No, it's the discipline of you seeing the money coming in after you're eliminating debt, putting money to a reserve aside, rewarding yourself in milestones, allow you to see, look what I have a little extra. I'm eliminating debt, but look what I have extra now in my savings or put to the side or in account. Now I got this in my wallet. Oh my gosh, Lambo, what do I do? Leave it right there. Continue that same strategy until the end of your debt snowball effect. You say, Lambo, what do I do after month number 2? Start back again from the bottom. Month number 2. I got another $80 aside. I put 70 aside, put 10 in my wallet. Week number 2 on month number 2. I put 60 outside, I put 20 in my wallet. Week number 3 on month number 2. I put 70 out there, I put 30 in my wallet. Sorry, I put 50 out there, I put 30 in my wallet. Week number 4, I put 40 and 40. Do it again the next month. Some of you will see how just $500 extra a month. It may not look like nothing. It's just $100 extra a day. You will start to see yourself gain confidence because you're going to see what's in your wallet. You're going to see what's in your savings. You're going to see the debt eliminated. And you're going to start thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, the discipline of what Lambo is talking about, it works. It's literally helping change my life. The third thing I need you to do is begin to start to write down every single month something new on your vision board. You say, Lambo, whoa. Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean that I'm eliminating debt? I'm putting money aside. I'm actually putting money in my pocket. And now I need to start writing a vision board and start adding to it? Yes. Because what you're going to understand is that when you start writing down vision, you start breathing in hope. When you see that debt monster start being released because you're able to conquer it day by day, week by week, month by month, you're rewarding yourself and you're putting in the money in your wallet. I promise you, when you're writing down your visions and your goals, week by week, month by month, you start adding to your vision board. By the time you get to the end of that 6 months, you're going to see how much of your vision was you at the beginning and how much it shifted as you got closer and further out of debt. When you get finally out of debt, I want you to do a calculation. Zero that sucker all the way out. All of my debt is gone. Exit all the way out. The money that you put to the side in that savings, go put it into an investment. You said, whoa, hold on, Lambo. Well, you want me to go put that money that I put to the side in the savings every single month, every single week that was extra? I go put that into the investment? Yes. You need to go allow that to go make money for you. When you see the money that's in your wallet, I'm giving y'all some game. Empty out 90% of that money that's in your wallet. Keep 10%. Allow the 90% to go into bank accounts that literally are drawing interest on those accounts. High yield savings accounts, high yield checking accounts. You say, but Lambo, that's just going into the bank. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're growing interest. You've already got money that you went met with a financial advisor. You're putting this money with real estate and investments and portfolios and stock portfolio. So that money is already working for you that you actually automated. Now the money that you actually had into your wallet, I'm going to take 90% out of that and I'm going to throw that into bank accounts that is earning interest on it. Yes. Because now what you've seen is that the money that you have put into those bank accounts that are high yield savings account and high yield checkings accounts and CDs, that money now is consistently making money for you. While your other money is making money with a true, real financial advisor. And then you say, well, Lambo, I only got 10% that's left in my wallet. What do you think Lambo gonna tell you to do with that 10%? I need you to begin to sow. I need you to begin to tithe. I need you to begin to give that back to God. To God, this 10% just for you. I need to begin to keep sowing, keep giving, keep putting this to somebody. Somebody needs to be blessed out here. I can go find somebody that needs their phone turned on or their lights or whatever, or I need to give it to the church or something. I can find something to do with that 10%. Because it's not yours in the first place. You've been disciplined enough to get yourself out of debt. You've been disciplined enough to make a different savings that is investing in to other interests that's making interest for you. You've been disciplined enough to take that 90% out of what you put in your wallet and put that back in to other bank accounts that literally are making interest on it for you. So you're making money, you're debt free. The last 10%, I need you to start to exchange and start giving. Lambo, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can give this to my church. I don't know if I can give this to somebody in need or somebody who's doing it. I promise you, if you do that, you'll come back and say, Lambo, my whole life changed. Because literally, I took with what you said. I mastered the art of taking down the debt snowball effect. I mastered the art of putting money aside into the savings and then allowing that money to go into investments. And then I took the money that was in my wallet and I emptied out 90% and I put that into high yield interest checkings and savings. And I took the last 10% and I started to sow, started to give. I promise you, money, when you see it, is an object. It's a tool. The more disciplined you are about giving and receiving, it's a law. It's literally a law. The money will always find its way back to you if you truly are a giver and a sower. When you find ways and you find things to do, find people to give to, find things that you know that God has laid on your heart to give to, watch what happens. Watch how your whole life starts to change right before your very eyes. I hope that this has blessed you tonight. I hope that this literally was able to give you some amazing direction of how you should go, how you should operate, how you should begin to move yourself out of that debt monster, tackle that thing with the right method, move yourself into positions that are making income for you, hands-free, and being able to see your money in storehouses. That's what the Bible calls it. Because you, my friend, have literally conquered how to handle money. When you get that last part, you start giving, you sow where you want to go or sow to stay in the flow. Watch how your life will totally change for your life. When I'm telling you, you can't outbeat God's given, I'm 100% firm-footed. You can't outbeat God's given. You just need to know, my friend, that your time is coming and great things are getting ready to happen to you because there is light at the end of your tunnel. I hope that this blessed you today. I hope that you literally are taking this 90 minutes and saying, Lambo, you're 100% right. I'm going to watch the documentary this weekend, right? Of the Katrina documentary on Netflix. But I'm also getting ready to go ahead and get serious about my finances and my future. Because there is vision when you were telling me about when I get down to writing out that last vision and writing out my vision board and adding to that, literally, I started seeing how things change week by week, month by month, because I kept adding to it. I want you to be the best version of you possibly can be, but the version of you that is literally life-changing, that is literally there to be a light to help so many other people who are out here who need your help. Imagine you teaching the same strategy. Just the power of 10, right? The power of 10, a lot of people don't even know this, will literally help change your life. Take $10, do 10 things to do $10, and now you're at $100. Take $100, do 10 things from $100 to get $1,000. Take $1,000, do the same 10 things that it took you to get the $100 to $1,000, you get $1,000. Take $1,000, do 10 things to get $10,000. Take $10,000, do 10 things of the same thing to get $100,000. To get $100,000, do 10 things to get $1 million. You may have to hire you some help. You may have to hire you some teams. But the power of 10 will take you from $10 to a millionaire just by you operating in that power of 10. God is giving you strategy. God is giving you hope. God is giving you an expected end. I pray you, my friend, have learned so much from this. And this is the beginning of the rest of your life. I love you guys. Again, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, Lambo Drew TMT, right here on YouTube. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, we are consistently bringing you the exact things that you need to consistently go to the next level and go higher, because I want to see you win, my friend. I love you guys, man. Again, every Tuesday and Thursday night, we are here. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to my Instagram channel and my TikTok channel as well at Lambo Drew _TMT. I would love to see you there. Have an amazing week, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Look at the documentary. I promise you, you will be blessed by any means necessary. I see you guys Tuesday night at the 1st September, right? And that's the day after Labor Day. Everybody have a happy Labor Day to everyone who is out there. Happy Labor Day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Have a safe, amazing weekend. Take care. Love you guys. We'll see you guys next week right back here on this broadcast.